Arcane is the story of Vi, a girl that lost her parents in a war between the Topside and the Undercity. This loss made her gain an unbreakable will and a highly protective nature, but after a tragedy she is sent to prison. She is now hellbent on getting out, and have one goal in mind: finding her sister, Powder. Arcane is also the story of Powder, a girl that lost her parent in a war between the Topside and the Undercity. This loss broke her, and now she is... But after a tragedy, she's now hellbent on spending her life waging war on the Topside and spreading chaos into the world. There is an obvious line between who is the hero of the story and who is the villain. But in a lot of ways, we can't completely see Powder as the villain, and it's probably because of how they fleshed out the character into a three-dimensional person, but also how the story was presented to us. Powder is a pretty likable and relatable character in the first couple of episodes. She is presented to us as this young girl doing her best to help her sister, and Vi being the protagonist who would do anything to protect her sister, her being this lens through which we see the world for the most part, reinforce our perspective of Powder as someone that we want to protect. But with that said, as the story goes on, we see her turning into Jinx and becoming more and more unstable, violent, and simply put, a villain. Why do we still care then? The story of Powder's transformation into Jinx is told exactly how you tell a superhero origin story, and this is how, by following almost exactly the hero's journey storytelling structure, that Arcane managed to break the superhero story. Powder's older sister Vi bring her on some kind of heist so that their family and friend can get some money out of it. But during this heist, Powder finds some kind of blue gem that look valuable. She take most of them but drop one on the ground and it explode the building. This caused drastic change in the socio-political landscape of the Topside and the Undercity. Now the Topside want to fight the culprit and make them pay. This was Powder's call to adventure. Vi wanted her to fight the Topside with her by stealing from them, as this is what Vi thought needed to be done at the time. But Powder, seeing how bad she messed up and how her friend thinks she's a Jinx, she becomes full of self-doubt and starts to think she isn't good enough to be on the team. But Vi tells her that everyone messed up sometime and that it's what makes her feel different that is her greatest strength. But later, as trouble show up and Vi need to go save her father, she asks Powder to stay behind. So she stay behind and cry alone. But as it all seemed to go for the worse with the situation with their father, Powder realized that she can use the gem to make her bomb work. So she take her monkey bomb and go help Vi. Now that she has her bomb, she finally uses it to help her family. After accidentally killing all of her friends and her father, she feels alone and her mental health is more unstable than ever. Vi, angry and sad, she leaves Jinx alone in the rain, surrounded by fire. Then Silco took her in, and this is the beginning of the transformation. Every aspect of Powder's journey toward becoming Jinx is a step forward in the classical hero's journey. Even if we don't try to fit those elements into the structure, you can still feel the superhero origin story vibe in a sense. And this is just for the departure. I can go on in the initiation phase. It really is the hero's journey. I don't know if this was intentional by the writer, but every aspect of Jinx's story is a twisted version of a step toward the hero's journey. I don't really think there is a specific structure of storytelling to tell a story, but it's pretty crazy how well her story fit this structure. So why does this work so well? Well, because the opposition between two clashing concepts that are assembled together create a tension between the two. If you take two concepts that are highly contrasted and opposite and make one single situation, action or reaction out of it, you end up with a captivating contradiction, like a sad feeling of happiness, or in that case, a evil hero. The viewer in his brain, a synthesis will occur. He will try to fix the gap between the two contradictions in order to make sense out of it, because the viewer will always attempt to fix contradiction through synthesis even without realizing it. And this is the power of dialectic opposite. In philosophy, as an example, dialectic is the process they use to arrive to the truth using counter-argument. You try your best to counter the argument and counter the counter-argument until you can't anymore. And what you end up with is the truth. Well, by presenting Jinx through the classic hero's journey structure, the viewer stays constantly in dialectic process, shifting his perspective of the character. In some weird way, we kinda stay on her side even as she becomes worse and worse. The whole point of a movie like Joker is the same concept, but Arcane does something a bit different with Jinx. In Joker, in Revenge of the Sith, in X-Men First Class, the journey that the character goes through from a good person to a supervillain, while also being really close to the one of the hero, is different in one huge aspect. Anakin, Eric, and Archer have their journey defined by failure. Anakin wanted to protect his wife, but failed. Archer wanted to be a happy comedian, but failed. Even Eric at first wanted revenge, granted, but his journey was about fighting his rage and becoming a hero, but by the end, he failed. All those examples of a character turning bad have them strive for something they want, generally in goodwill, but fail. Sure, some character like Thanos, some people could argue are also failed hero, but in his case it's not the same, because after what happened on Titan, he started to strive for something arguably evil. He was the hero of his own story but the villain of the universe. While Anakin wasn't someone that strived for something evil, he just wanted to save his wife, but ended up destroying himself along the way. What I want to say is that for a character like Thanos, I wouldn't consider them going through the same thing because he was arguably a villain to begin with. But if characters like Joker, Vader, and Magneto have their journey defined by failure, how does Powder's journey differ from the other? It's because the story of Powder doesn't end in failure.
Remember, what makes you different? Let's go! Is what makes you Spider-Man.
You know, Powder, what makes you different makes you strong. Always remember that.
Arcane and Spider-Verse have the same theme. Both are about finding who you are, and this very fact make in some weird way Arcane the anti-Spider-Verse. Powder's journey toward becoming Jinx is a dark reflection of the journey that Miles takes toward becoming Spider-Man. Both have the exact same goal, the same drive. Both want to find who they really are, which is exactly how the character of Jinx becomes so captivating. She goes through the exact same step as a superhero would toward becoming who she is. She takes every step toward what is a relatable, understandable, good-natured goal in itself. But every step she takes gets her slowly toward the sad truth, that she is deep down the villain of the story. She likes killing people. She is the bad guy, the villain of the series. There's no hiding it. She kills people and takes pleasure in doing so. We aren't supposed to root for her, and we don't root for her. We don't want to see her killing people and fight her sister, but what she's striving for in itself is the exact same thing as Miles from Spider-Verse. Both are only trying to find themselves and be themselves, and both reach their dream and become who they really are. For Miles, it meant becoming Spider-Man, but for Jinx, well, yeah. I think this is probably one of the reasons behind why the character is loved by so many people, and also in some way why we feel so bad for her and sort of root for her. This is the aspect of Arcane that made this story go from great to a masterpiece. The way every piece is used to craft this character that is at the center of the whole story fits so well together is simply amazing to me. This irony of both rooting for Jinx and wanting her to fail at the same time is really powerful.
You know, Powder, what makes you different makes you strong. Always remember that.
I thought maybe you could love me like you used to. Even though I'm different.
From the very beginning, by putting us straight in her shoes from the very start, every time we see Powder, we want her to reach this dream of her working as a member of the team and making her damn monkey bomb work. And she actually reached this dream. She fixed her bomb. And as her family is in danger, she comes to save the day. Her main drive was to fix her bomb and save everyone, and the story makes us really want her to reach this dream. We want the bomb to work, we hope that it will work, but when it does, it literally blows up in her face. And this is the sad reflection of Powder's dream that turned into a nightmare in the blink of an eye. Powder always wanted to be useful for her family and friend. She always wanted to be like her sister. She always wanted to be like her hero. But as she finally made her bomb work and she was trying to save everyone, it blew up in her face. All her life she see her dream completely shatter in front of her as she managed to reach it. The saddest part is that as she grew older and was looking to destroy the topside as some kind of hero of the Undercity, she realized that she is no hero. She is not like her sister, and that deep down she is enjoying killing people. She finally see what make her feel alive, what make her smile is being the villain, and like that, being herself is something she should not achieve, and it all blew up in her face again. This twisted irony of using every hero storytelling trope to tell Jinx's story is probably what makes us weirdly kinda root for her. She is obviously the bad guy, but we still hope for the best for her and love her as if she was the hero. This is a pretty interesting play in perspective that works amazingly well here. This way they play with the viewer's perspective and emotion in order to deliver the best possible result is exactly what makes Arcane so great, and this aspect is present all the way through. This story, this sad irony is so captivating and truly shows that the road to hell truly is paved in good intention, which make Arcane feel like seeing a superhero through a distorted mirror.
Lately I've been feeling so ashamed by these thoughts I'm hiding in my brain. 'Cause I've been holding them down, but they twist me violently. I'm hanging by a thread tonight, but this time I don't wanna be saved. So let me fall, let me break under everything unsaid. Just let me die, 'cause I can't take living with what's in my head. If I surrender to the monsters in me. If I surrender to the monsters in me, will it set me free? What's the point of holding on like this when no one seems to care if I exist? There is no agony like being strong when no one knows you're sick. so sick of hearing I should stay when I know I would never be missed. So let me fall, let me break under everything unsaid. Just let me die, 'cause I can't take living with what's in my head. If I surrender to the monsters in me. If I surrender to the monsters in me. If you could see under my skin, you'd realize why I hold it in. Why it's a fight I don't wanna win. Why it's a fight I don't wanna win. If you could see all my abuse and spend a day inside my shoes, you'd realize why I just wanna lose. You'd realize why I just wanna lose. Will anyone believe the hell there be in me before I decide to be the dying proof? So let me fall, let me break under everything unsaid. Just let me die, 'cause I can't take living with what's in my head. If I surrender to the monsters in me. If I surrender to the monsters in me. Will it set me free?
You know, Powder, what makes you different makes you strong. Always remember that.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to help the channel. But yo, if you're working on Arcane Season 2 and are watching this, maybe consider putting me and the boys in. Come on, we would fit right in next to the Imagine Dragon gang. But guys, I mean, no stress. You really don't have to. Like, really.